Greetings. My name is Elizabeth Ntembo. My student number is 214569100. Today I will be teaching grade 10 about growth, development, and globalization. Okay, what is economic growth? Economic growth is the process whereby the country's real national and per capita income increases over a long period of time. And then economic development is a sustained improvement in material well-being of society. It includes changes in social and cultural. And then globalization. Globalization is the integration between countries through foreign trade and foreign investment by multinational cooperation. Okay, the theme of the lesson will be focusing on the economic revolution, but I would also want learners to be able to read a certain scenarios in order to understand what will be taught in the class. So that's where the use of scenarios or case studies is part of the learning process, whereby learners are expected to read with an understanding and be able to answer the questions that were being asked. And also learners should be able to read and write. In other words, should be able to read scenario and write using their own words about what they are understanding. So I would like to first clarify about reading and writing in economics. In recent years, economic educators have stressed the importance of making students active participants in the learning process. So economic educators have come up with this learning strategy, which include reading and writing. So it helps learners to understand the written words and improve their vocabulary, grammar, which enhance one's ability to speak and write. Okay, and then what is reading in economics? Reading gives learners the tool to understand their economic world and how to interpret the events that will either directly or indirectly affect them. The use of writing across the curriculum programs has demonstrated that writing does not only serves a medium for communication but also enhances a student's cognitive and intellectual development. Okay, and then we go to the second one, which is writing. Writing in economics demonstrates a solid understanding of economic theory. Thank you. And then during my lesson I'll be using the charts about the growth, development, and globalization. So I have these three pictures that I will be using to enhance a learner's attention. The first one is surplus production, the second one is about trade, and the last one is about transport development. Okay, let us first look at the surplus production. If we speak about surplus production, it's whereby we look at the exit amount of the goods from what was expected to be produced. Okay, so during our times, surplus production was one of the first economic problem that human beings have faced. It was not easy for producers to produce as large as many goods as they want. Why? Because there was a lack of machinery or skilled people or educated people. So what they did, they involved animals in the production process. They will during their croppings or planting certain goods, they involve animals, and also people were also involved, obviously. So during ancient time, it was not easy for suppliers to supply just any goods. They had to produce a certain product using what material or resource they have to produce that particular product. Okay, so then through the revolution of economy, a lot of things has changed, and a lot of machines has been produced. So now it is easy for the producers to produce as large goods as they want and to produce whatever products they want. And then we go to the second one, which is trade. So trade first began as the barter system. Okay, so human trade animals or services for food. This was happening during old times. And also trading was not easy at all during old time. We are being told here that some people started to specialize as traders or merchants. They started building trading houses that later developed into shops as we know them today. So I think that is whereby the economy has developed. And then traders started trading with no boundaries. They would just go and trade wherever they want. As a result of international trade, the existence of large empires led to a success of trade. Okay, here I have a short scenario about trade, so I am expecting learners to listen very attentively. Then after reading, I will ask them just a few questions. Okay, so it read as follows. Trade was important to early civilization because people found that they could not produce all the resources that they needed or wanted. However, trade during ancient civilization limited by geography and technology. How so? Under geography, people were limited by large bodies of water, deserts, and rugged terrain. About technology, people did not have the means to build ships that could take them on long voyages on open seas. And then they have mentioned that there are two things that make long distance trade possible. The first one is domestication of pig animals. The second one is development of shipping technology. So, learners, the question is, what two things limited trade during ancient time? Yes, Tandria, technology, and the second one, yes, Nambozo, geography. That's correct. The second question is, what two things made a long distance trade possible? Mhlanipo. Yes, domestication of pig animals. The second one is Nintendo. is development of shipping technology. Okay, so this was all about trade, and then we move to the third aspect, which is a transport development. During old time, it was not easy to transport goods to other countries or to go and buy goods from other countries. Okay, so it took a long time for the people in the old times to transport their goods. Why? Because they were walking since there were no transports. All transport was about animals like buffalo, donkeys, camel, and so forth. So we can now see that during all times, everything in order to be possible, they have to use animals. They have to use animals as part of the as part of standard of living or as part of a developed economic. And then a okay, animal drawn vehicle were used during this era. I have already mentioned that. So water transport made use of human or wind power. And then this was useful as it enhanced international trade. And then now our economy has developed, or there is a growth on our economy. So there are now transports, different types of transports: the water transports, air transports, a railway transport, and so forth. So it is now easy for people to transport their goods, or it is now easy for people to travel in order to go and buy, or to go for an exchange of goods and services. Okay, and then also under the transport development, I have a scenario, but this one is just for learners to read it with an understanding. There are no questions at all. Okay, so learners, you will read this scenario at your own after the lesson. Okay, and then transportation has become more comfortable in terms of the quality of seats, in addition to providing places on long road for passengers to rest for some time. Transportation is now able to transport heavier loads than in the past. Okay, as you can see here on my charts, these are the one of the transports that has been developed from ancient time. Okay, the last part is about the growth of town and cities. Okay, town and cities have a long history. Although opinions may vary on whether any particular ancient settlement can be considered a city. This attracted peasants into to migrate to town in search for jobs in towns. And also, as population grew in certain towns, production and trade increased in order to satisfy demand from the growth of population. So Beside trade, merchants offered specialized services such as manufacturing of tools. If it went for merchants, town wouldn't have grown the way they did. Okay, so that's all about growth, development, and globalization. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you the classwork, which is based on the trade and development, and you are expected to read it thoroughly and make sure that you understand everything that is written there in the case study. So after that, you will have to answer the following questions, and I will mark this right here before the period ends. Okay, to conclude, I'm gonna give you a homework which I am expecting you to submit it tomorrow early in the morning. So this homework is based on the globalization. No copying, please. Just read and write it and answer the questions at your own. Thank you so much. That was the end of today's lesson.